Good evening. For those that it is evening, if it'll be supper. Good morning for breakfast. I meet you for lunch. Have you eaten yet? Or are you ready to be sick? Because I've said absolutely nothing and used up minutes of your time. Although seconds have passed, you're still going to wait to see what I partake in my own menu before I deliver. So you are here to hear what I have to say. Welcome. In this video, I'm not saying very much. My palate is full. I'm full of numbers, and guess what? They piss on me. Pissenlit is yellow, but fleur-de-lis, and pissenlit, because somehow the pineal gland, the extra skin the Jews cut, somehow covering up the Viagra now getting through man's head, covering up a condom over his pineal glands so he can't scratch and feel the pearl of his own cum swimming in his head. Liquefied and drained, it passes through the blood. Somehow one of your chemicals don't mix and it just goes right up to the top, and it's like white cancer. But it's not cancer at all. It has something to do with the fate of this world, in which we come from another world. We are angel residents of an electronic resident angel. The color orange brings on the yellow mix with the red. In pool, it's the 5 ball. And the 13 making 18, but what's so exciting about these two is the 5 brings the electronic world and the sun, and the sun comes in through the 13, because 13 is 1 and 3 and makes B, the letter B. The 3 and the 1 come together. That's why when you're really looking at the telephone, there is no 1. It's 3 all the way around, except the last part of the 3, you'll have to turn Rubik's Cube on the side and shove it up the other way. So you have the ass part. The mouth part, the ass goes in, the mouth goes out. The mouth goes out, the mouth goes out. Where was I talking? I get lost when I start to explain myself because I don't want anybody to be deceived in the disparity. But what is a disparity? Why did I say that? Does it have any recognition in everything here that I have to say? Maybe. But I make mistakes. I'm just trying to follow the vines. The vines are fine. They're in my head. They're in my mind. And my mind's not blowing up anymore. It did once when the door opened. And now I'm almost starting to see crystal clear. So the sperm goes up to your brain. And in a woman, she's beta. She already has the eggs downstairs. She has a head up here, and she's got 2 more heads down there, because one of those eggs is going to go inside the other egg, and it's going to be the mechanics of the brain of the moon on her own shoulders. Do we live in the doghouse? I wrote on the back a few years ago, Zaritsky, Nazareth, freedom, and balance. Now balance at the end, if you read it, the N is the cross. It's the ants. The ants, and not A-N-T ants, but the creation ants that are in your way because your road has been crisscrossed. So now you have ace, ants, you take away the N, you have a ballast. You have a ballast. You have a real balance. You don't have to go onto the N to balance. You have a balance of C and E. Creation, electronic, 5 and 3. And guess what? It is the 3-5 weekend this weekend. I don't know what weekend it is in football, but I'm assuming this weekend is either 7 or 8. I'm really intrigued to know. Let me check out before I go. Can I see before you know? Because I'll be doing this video before I go. So let me look up. I'll look up on one of these sites over here, and this. And you know, they're not letting me write anybody anymore. They've blocked me off. I don't know why. So here's Google, and I'm going to press Google and see NFL football this weekend. Not CFL. CFL, I'd like to know where they're playing. But here's this NFL week number. Do you know why they put number the way they do? You know why they put number the way they do when they put N-O and a dot? Because if you take the alphabet and you go from A to M, You have 6 in between 7, regardless of what you want to say, wherever you want to put your ass, that's okay. Put it at 1, put it at 11, put it at number 14, right after. Put your ace in the 9 spot, and you'll be doing the 1 directing, so watch out where your ass lands, because you're sitting on the electric seat. And I'm not just saying that because it rhymes and it sounds good. I'm saying that because it's true. If you look at the supermarkets and the commodity stores, and anywhere you go right now, there's a new label out, and there's one part missing on the right. That's your 9. That's your 3 and 9, depending if you're on the calculator. That's the crustacean inside of you. Okay? And when that crustacean takes this mind to say, you're my ego, and I'm going to use my ego of my intelligence, and then I'm going to implement it in the truth and the justice between all. No way will I take the ego from me. The ego will now be 6, 6, 6. And only one of the 6s can make 12, and that's at least 50%. Because 1.5 times 6 is only 9. So you're 3 ahead of your crustacean, you're 3 ahead of them. Because they're 3 over you. There wasn't supposed to be 4 corners. There was always 3 corners. 3 corners and 3 corners and 3 corners and 3 corners. And if you don't get 3 corners, you get a V. And you don't close it with the stick. So right away you've got a connection this way, or you put the fish this way. Which way are the fish swimming? This that I drew has a dog in the house, a red dog. It had a balance sitting on top of the 2 doors. And there was a flower in the corner. And in one world it was black and white, and the letter F was here, the temperature was on, it was the Fahrenheit. And she was kissing with the other bird, but this was the end of the tail of the snake. And this is where she came out into the world to speak. As the suns come out, and you can see in this corner, it's Nibiru. I drew this 5, 6 years ago. And if you come over here, this is your DNA, 1.D. But if you flip it over in the same picture, you now have D1, which is 4, circle 5, and it makes the K in between. It makes the arc K in between. Arc K is 11, and 18 is 29 of the Ken Dryden. What do we do with numbers? A is in this spot, or this spot. If it's in this spot over here, then it goes on level 3. If it's in this spot over here, it goes on level 2. And if it goes on level 1, we'll just flip everything upside down. It'll be level 3 again. So I just somehow did this. Which way was it going to go? Can we hold it upside down? And you know what's funny? It would be really good if I could just do this, and maybe it'll turn into something else while you're watching it. Hey, just like our life's going by, they mix up our whole life, and then your life is bothering you. You understand? You start to turn it slowly. And even slowly, it comes to you, and it starts to wind into your life. But you see the center seems to never move. You can see the dice and the 1 inside the center. She doesn't move. What else is on here? The palm tree down in the corner with the 2 islands. Look, it's the pineapple from SpongeBob. If you ever look from below, there's 1 flower. 1 is yellow and green, and inside is the pink life. And on the ground, just below it, you see a mailbox, because he's still waiting the letter from home. Then there's half a face right over here. The mouth, splitting the face, 1 side going up. Sad. The bird is watching over him, but this man over here with his nose and his 2 windows, he's got a flower inside his mouth, because whatever he says is sweet like shit. He's carrying, here's his arm over here, carrying his head, which is a bird on top of the house, which is connected to the flower, and the leaf, which is connected to the snake. And the snake is connected to the 2 sides of 1 world inside, and when she rocks back, she sees the other sun world on the inside. She's not sure which end to go with, but the last decision must run with the skunk. It's either on this side or on this side. It's one of the 2. Which one, whatever it's going to be, it's going to end up in the middle. The purple is going to be your decision regardless which side you picked. It'll always be in the middle. You want to see the Budweiser bow tie? Here's the Budweiser bow tie. If we started with creation and the passage, well, why don't we go back right to the beginning and get back to crustacean and the passage? You are 3 and 1 automatically. How are you 3 and 1? Because there's 1 in between 2. So each one gets 2, 2, and the 1 is 5. Now this E has to flip the other way, then has to flip on the angle so you can get an angle, so you can get 3. You need to have 3 sides. 3 by 3 makes the 9. 4 by 2 makes the 8. You know there's 4 2s in an 8. It's not 2, 4, 6, and 8. It's 8, 6, 4, and 2. Because beta says, I'll give 2 to you, and 2 to you, and 2 to you. She shares. She splits up. And then sometimes she gives one like this, and one time she gives them one like this. That's what happens in your head, and it happens in your pants. It all depends which side of beta you get. Were you reconstructed? Are you duplicated on this earth? Which side of beta did you get? See, they cut everything into short sticks from long sticks. When it was long, it was whole. But they broke it up into this world and made 3 short sticks. And they made sure, when it was the long one, they made sure they trapped you and they locked you up because they were too long. So they cut you in half and they put you in jail. And you lived in Harlem. Harlem money of the alphabet and the monopoly that they take. When you start from 1 to 13, and you start from Z, which is actually should be a Y over here. You should be starting at Y, because if you went from Y, you would never reach N, you would only reach O, which is the center of the passage. But here, you end up on N and O, 3.1415. The birth is 9, 1 and 6. 1 and 6 meets Q. The P meets the Q. All of a sudden you're pregnant, and now it's number 9 and 2, because you're going to make 11. 3.14159265, the first 8 numbers of pi. Is that good enough? Is that a good thing? Did I do it right? Was it right? Did I explain it and just make it up? Well, I'll sit here all day and make up 10 different stories, and every single one will lead to the end, and the end will be 3.14159265. But you want to work something in pi? Why don't we do something else with pi, and then you take it to another level with whatever mathematics you do. I'll do my little magic, because my little magic is no more than A, B, C, D. And 32 is something we all have to remember. Michael Jackson, I did the video before. Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, A, B, C. One was number 23, 2 and 3 is 5, the Jackson 5s. Now I forget where I was going to go. 2 and 3, 3 and 2, 1 and 4. Yes, when you have 1 and 4 and God is 0, 1, 2, 3, and in that He makes the soup bowl. He makes the 4 and He makes the creation. And then 4 gets along coming back. 4 goes back to 3, and to 5, and over to 6 into the land. He only takes 1 step into the land on 6 as he passes through the 7th gate, and he gets the 8th body with the 6 and 2. 2 becomes the Venus, your sex, and 6 becomes your brain as a total of 5 and 1, and he just steps in. All of a sudden he hits 5, he hits 6, he hits 7, he is 8. So he's no longer 6, and really he's no longer 7 because he went through the gate, and he's on one side of 7, so they call it head 8. Oh, I got a headache. So we wanted to go back from Z, and I don't remember where it was. Z. Oh yes, we were doing pi. So here's how pi goes. Because we started in trinity, we ripped it apart in quadrulality. So this is what we do. Pi 3.14159265. 3 times 3 is not. No, let's go the first way. The first way we're going to do is A, reconstruct it to the 10 worlds. Wherever you see something, see it again. So if we see a 1, we put a 9. If we see a 4, we put a 6. We see a 1, we put a 9. I'll be writing this with you, that way I won't get lost. Right? Better for me to write and just do it twice, write and talk. And okay, first we're going to get pi, 3.1415. You know, maybe you can watch me write, and oh, you're not on the right camera. There's no way for me to switch that in the middle, is there? Okay, 3.14159265. First you have to know is the first thing. Is this becomes 42 if you multiply it by 3, 6, and this becomes 45, 9, 6, 9. This is 11. If you do it by 3, it'll be 33. If you do it by 4, it'll be 44. This is 11. If you do it by 3 or by 4, that's one way. Second way, we're going to bring this into the 10 worlds. So the 3 is going to hit 7, the 1 is going to hit 9, the 4 will hit 6, the 1 will hit 9, the 5 will hit 5, and then if it hits 5, it actually hits 0, 1. Again, because he's in the center of somewhere. The 9 will be 1, the 2 will be 8, the 6 will be 4, and the 5 will be 5, 0, 1. So this is what it looks back in that world. Now, the question is, I want to make it look back in this world to this side or this side. Well, what I would do now is add 4, 6. Now I'm going to bring it to the 7 world. So now 4, 6, 3, 6, 2, 7, 5, 1, 2. So now I have it, this and this equals to this. Now if you want to go next, we can either continue from here, because this number is eternal and never moves, and these numbers probably come together. I'm going to multiply each one of these. I'm going to do it in front of you. I'm going to hold it up. Or I can turn around if you'd like. Let's see. Okay, here we're going to go. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 by 4 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. You don't see very good, eh? What if I held it on an angle? Well, it's not fair. It's not fair. Okay, 3 times 5 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. 3 by 9 is 27. 2 and 7 is 9. 3 by 2 is 6. 3 by 6 is 18. 1 and 8 is 9. 3 by 5 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. Now look at this. 9, 3, 3, 3. Doesn't that tell you Lovejoy? 6, 9, 6, 9, 6. You have to bring it back to the 3 worlds. This is what's coming. Once you pass over here, if you took the piano out and you went, this is a center C over here, this would be B. A does not exist because A is inside of 3. That's how it goes. A is gone. A is the worm. A is the sperm. A is everything. A is the circle. A is the 1. A is everything. The middle of A, the middle of A is the middle of A. Is the middle of A. So we're going to do pi again. We're going to do pi again. Now look at these cassettes, how the fingers hold them so good. Now let's see what this one does. I can't put it here even though it holds it. I don't know how to do it. So I have to put it on here, but my fingers are busted. So if my finger's busted here, they say somewhere in your body is supposed to form to the same formation, but not me, my duplicate. Because they put something on the head, not of me, but my duplicate. And whatever I do and scratch out for my duplicate, he gives me the information. But if he's being manipulated, I'm being cheated. So then, all of the day long, the vibrations pass through my mind. All day long, they pass through my mind, and I hear things. And whatever I hear comes from the duplicate, and he's duplicating my day. So whatever it is, he gets twice and 3 times as much as I do. So I can't put this disc on me. That means his center disc that he's holding everything is only holding by the tip. And at the tip is a little button that they put on. The button, they put another button on the button, but it doesn't fit. The finger's way, way, way too big. The second one too, I busted all my fingers. I can't get the disc on. So I had to run my disc this way. Do you see how I'm like? This is the way you can run your disc. I have no choice but to turn my hands apart and have the diabetes between the 2 hands. The diabetes, this is your original 159, A, E, and I. You are now connected to the secondary world because the energy goes between and along your shoulders and around through your neck and into your head. We're no more than bats than anything else. Unless you can't understand what I'm saying, then continue to listen. Then there's this one over here, which is the thumb one. The thumb one is also supposed to be like this. These are your wings. If you hold your wings like this is the way the disc goes. If you put your 2 fingers the other way, this is the way your disc goes. So it all depends on what. And you see, because my fingers are all screwed up, I'm obligated, okay, I'm obligated to run my discs this way. You see how I'm fully connected? Now I know it looks a little wrong, or is it, there's something, hold on, how does this go? I can't figure, this one goes here, this one goes here, that one, this one goes here. Unless, I'm thinking of different ways that it can happen, right? See, this one can go here, okay? And this one normally goes, Well, the only place I can put it is it here? Anyways, I'm not sure anymore which way it goes. But, you know, it's got to go at least one way of Star Trek. So let's go back to pi. So the other way we can do this in pi, is now that we did this, now if somebody out there would like to join me, write down 1,000 numbers in pi, okay? And then once you do that, you do this. Take a list of pi and put 9 numbers in a row, always starting off from the first box, but the first box, okay, put a 1. Okay, I was putting the 3. Or you can start right away by putting 3, 1, 4, 1, 5. Put the 9 numbers over here. Okay, then get another box and put one next to it. Then get another box and put one next to it. And do that for 1,000 boxes. Okay, if you do 1,000 boxes, it's 9,000. But we don't need to do it 9,000. We're only going to have to do maybe 200 for the CB codes, the 10-200s. So we'll be putting 9 here and 9 here, and we'll do, let's say, 900 numbers. But we won't have to do 900. We're going to do 400, and we don't have to do 400 because we're in a quadrant, so all we really have to do is about 188. But it doesn't matter. It wouldn't make a difference what I say. Do you know why? You're going to know right away when you hit it. So what you do is you put in these boxes, you fill this with 9, you do another one with 9, and you continue on for 100 boxes like this. Then somebody else sees you, you put in the original, and somebody else sees you, okay, and they take your box and they put 4 boxes in one. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10 starts at 1, and then 10 starts at 1. You do 4 boxes of that, those are your major boxes, okay? But it's in your primary boxes that you multiply pi that will actually bring you back to 333,69696. That's exact, it will, and in fact, if we did it right now, I bet you in a half an hour I find where pi splits, where pi is actually finished, where pi is not eternal. But because life is eternal and life has its ups and downs, the numbers in pi never seem to refract each other because they need to refract each other in a period of this 9 box. And it's not 9 box, it's 9 plus, I'll show you 1 second. You see this? This cuts into the corner here. What I mean is, you can have 9 numbers here, you can have 4 numbers in here, you can have 4 numbers in here. 4 up top, 4 on the bottom, 9 over here. That makes your 17, that makes your 9 and 8, that makes your shrimp and your time heaven. So what you do is that, when you get to one of these areas between this side and this side, you are going to match 9 numbers. That either it's going to be a 3, a 6, or a 9. That's all it's going to be. You take any number you want in the entire world and multiply it by 3, it'll always be 3, 6, and 9, and this is how we can solve the end of pi. And I bet you if anybody tries this between now and Friday, someone will definitely be able to figure out where she repeats on this. You do not have to do the 4, 1. Just do 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. When you do 9 and do it overlapping 4 times, or overlapping 3 times. It depends what you'll find in a different world. 1 is 4, 1 is 3, it brings you to the 7th gate. It's actually 3 that'll keep you on the side. It'll be 3 on the bottom, 3 on the top, and then 4 in the center. So 3 will keep you on the side. Because you're always reaching out. You reach out to this one, you go 1, 2, 3, and then you start at this one, 1, 2, 3, and then you go at the middle, 1, 2, 3, and everybody's got a middle to a middle. So you got 5, 5, and 5, and that's what the Mayan Sanskrit says, 5, 5, and 5 all over it. And if you look at the end over here, 512 megabyte, 512 megabyte out of the 7th gate, 3, 3, and 3. 6 and 2 is 8, which is the same thing as saying 1 and 4, which is DNA. Why that? Because that's what's on the dice cube. The same thing here is 1 and 4. This is 1 and 4, this is 1 and 5. This part is about Christ. We have 7, 5, 1, 2. Then we have 4, 6, 3, 6. Beta is in the center. So what happens if I take this end at this end? 4 and 2 is 6. 6 and 1 is 7. 3 and 5 is 8. 6 and 7 is 13. 1 and 3 is 4. So we'd have 4, 2, 4 in the center. 2 times 4, 2 plus 4 is 6 and 8. 6 and 8 is 14. 6 and 8 is 14. You have DNA B, DNA B, DNA B, A, N, D. This is what it'll say. DNA band. Does that make any sense to you? It's not me. It's the numbers. I didn't pick these numbers. This is an old world of pi. I didn't choose these numbers. Okay, we're cutting this short. We're going to start a new video on the piano. I'm going to try to go over everything I missed and even get back to Grover Cleveland, why he's 22 and 24, because he's the door. He's in the middle of the two sides. Who is the 23rd president? And the Y in the alphabet counts just as much as any other letter, and so do the vowels, and so does everything else, and I'm just so excited. Does anybody, I want to know from anybody, oh my God, the cards are back out. The same 2 cards I've been looking at. Does it go in your face when I do that? How can I get this on the screen? When did the night go by? Was there a night? Was there a day? Raphael 7286. I even have the football field for the NFL. I'm going to start the football field for the CFL because they're all coded. It's a bar mitzvah of 13 years because you're a man on the field. And guess what? You know why we got the 12th man in the bleachers? Because 6 and 6 is 12. Because one team starts off as 1 cube dice is 6, and that 6 is actually 21. Why is the 6 21? Because the 6 is a 6 of turns in the Rubik's Cube, and the 21 is the 1 to 6 counting equals to the 21 of the 6 faces of Rubik's Cube is 126. We're playing in the dog pound. Where is that? Cleveland? Is that Cleveland, Ohio? Oh my God. Not good in Monopoly. Not good in Monopoly. And this is not the week. And why it's not the week, I forgot to show you the other thing on the last page. Where did my pages go? See, I'm starting to build. I'm getting ideas from everybody now. Somebody showed me Time Cube, and then somebody else started talking about Time Cube. So this guy who made up Time Cube wasn't crazy at all because I see the same thing. Here's a door, and here's a door, and here's a door, and here's a door, and here's a door. Guess what? There's 6 sides, but only 5 show because the other one's down to the cellar, into the shark tank, to see what kind of prick you're going to bring up next to shove into somebody else's head. Hey, dickhead. Sorry about that, but you got to get into it. Here, the other part is this. NOP, Monopoly. NOP and Q. What is number Q? In Monopoly, electric company is 12 from go, and that's where you start off in football, and electric company and waterworks is 12 from go the other way. If you go 10 from go, you go to jail. Number 31, October 31st, Halloween, when man's face went into jail, because when man's face walks on the street, he's a ghost. He's an absolute ghost, because when the cherry pickers come out for the blueberries, they take who they want. And nobody can say anything. And even when you show up, somebody judges you, and you get the wall against the law, and the law against the wall. But they have it up against us, because we're one, and we have no pony. So we can't pony up the money. And you can't pony up the money. If you pony up the money, they let you go. If you pony up enough, they let you go forever. You can just be an informant at the end. Informer. Informer. You know what I'm saying? In your head, you can be an informer by doing certain things, certain ways, which they'll be able to read the minds on both sides of the world, out from the Baltic Sea where it's tick, where it's tick, because they're always on a timer out there. The eggs have to come out of the chickens. Somehow the eggs have to come out of the chickens, but it's not out of the chicken's ass because it's only one egg, so they make it like a salmon roe, and it's eggs from some kind of other animal that lays millions of eggs that become your sperm. How did it become your sperm? Because they wake up in your DNA when you breathe it in. You breathe it in, and whatever water out there becomes your DNA instantly. Now it does what it's controlled to do because it was taught what to do. Every bubble consists of the same thing in the air, but once it gets inside of you, it changes into a cancer and it takes your mind and it rips it apart. We have Monopoly right here. We go from A to M, and then we can step out one outside because A moves into the third position. So now we're 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty good. We got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They only got 4. 10 would be on the other side. So they got 4. We're constantly with 5. And then man is born with 9. So he's born with 14. And then 14 on the cross is 28. And now he's Einstein, Beta Heaven, Tobethia, man of Bethlehem. The Bethlehem, the pig who they didn't want you to eat because of his nose, was supporting 2 different worlds, and his feet were split up between the 2, dividing the upper world by the lower world, in which it showed a Y from a Mercedes, which is 120 degrees open on each side, 12 o'clock and 12 o'clock. We're running inside the beehive. We're running on a hexagon inside an octagon, assumed by 2 triangles that look like the Mug and David, with the 7th gate looking like X's, standing up like X-Man with no heads but rings and guards standing, as 9 holds a stick on one side and 10 stands in between alone. But when 10 picks up a stick on this side, he becomes 9, 10, 11, and he is the force around the gate, the trinitarial light. 9 on this angle, 10 on this angle, 11 on this angle, 1 pointing out and 2 pointing in, or 2 pointing out and 1 pointing in, but everybody's got each other's back. They've got an eye for an eye, and if you want to see the way it stands out, I'll try and duplicate this if I can at the right time. Here we go, one here, and they're sitting together, and they each got their own eye. He's got his eye here, he's got his eye here, he's got his eye here. See, here's the Y. We split it 120 degrees each. I guess we made a mouth and 2 eggs, right? The eyes over the eyes. Matrix. You ever see what the fly looks like? That's the way our eyes see. That's why we go blind, because these lines in our eyes that are bugging up our eyes are just like this matrix webbing, tic-tac-toe all over the place. But the only time you want to make tic-tac-toe is like this. This is the way you get diamonds in the sky, and diamonds have 4 points, and they can't trap you on all 4 points. You don't want to put it like this because you can slip in between. So you put it like this, you put your thumbs together, or you have your thumbs like this. Or your thumbs come together like this. And they're wings and birds, and we don't even count them as we fly together into the sky. The caterpillar, they're cutting up, it's black, and it's rust on each side, but it's Kimberly, or it's Kinder Surprise, or what is the color of this? I used to call it rust, but somebody else called it another color. It was amber light. Amber, A and M. Beta, remember, world electronic resident member of the head of the moon, the 19 of 19 of 19, 3 moons that follow your moon, the 2 moons on Mars that are satellite moons. I'm hoping this video goes through. Let us share what we can share. If I'm not saying anything right, then I'm not saying anything right. If nothing makes sense, you tell me. But I showed you what we do with pi. Let us do one more thing with pi, but before, let's show you the football field. We'll spread it out a little bit. We start off at the football field and we bring the Budweiser bow tie. We got creation on the left and creation on the right. 3 and 5 get in and get the field, they get number 8. 3 and 5 get the field and they get number 8. They got the whole field, they got to play defense. They get 8, they only get 3. So they got 3 and they got 8. They got 5 men point out for the passes. Here everybody's actually on defense. But 3 and 5 make 8 and 3 and 5 make 8. That's 16. 1 and 6 makes a 7 game. 7 points for a touchdown. And then what you get is 3 by 5 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. So you got 6 for a touchdown. You have 3 times 5 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. 1 point for the extra point. Because once you get the other team of 1, 2, and 3, you get the extra point, and now you have 7. Then what happens is you are born into the 8 heaven. 8, 3 by 5 is 15. 3 and 5 is 8, and 15 is 23. 23 here and 23 here. But now we have a little confusion on the field. It's marked with 32 and 23, but that's okay. This one is 235 and this one's 532. When you get home, you're 235, but if you get home at 532, you got 28 minutes till 6 o'clock for 6-9, and you only got 28 minutes for the mind in order to get ready to get out, to go back to the cross to work. lacrosse to work, across the street to work. Wherever you are, your mind must change from one area to the next. Now all of a sudden we come in the game, it's 3 by 3 because we have the 9 birthed into the game. We each get 9, so the headman gets 18. It becomes 9, 18, and 9. But since we already got our number and we just divided it up and gave it to this one, although we're only supposed to take off 3 and 3, I pushed it a little bit forward to giving 9 and 9 is 18. 18 gets 5 is 23. If we put 23 together, plus 18, we have 41, and that's the Monopoly Go. Now we go to number 8. The head is made to heaven. 9 from 8 is 1. We give them 1. Now we go to the 7th gate. At the 7th gate, we each give 1 more point. We're supposed to go 1, 3, and 3, 1, but we're doing it 1 at a time. We're making it quick. When we get to 6, we get on the field. We give 1 more to the center here and 1 more to the center. We now have the 24 hours of the day. Here we met the sperm. Here we had the day. Here, number 5, when you met the center, the O hole in the woman's V, the number 5, V in Roman numerals, you come out and you go down 1 more and you're in the doghouse. Now at the age of 13, 1 and 3 is 4, you're down to 4. From 5 to 4, you give 1, and now you're in time heaven. Now you're on the football field, and the score is 3-3. Why is it 3-3? Because 4 and 3 is 7, 4 and 3 is 7. You're ready to begin 33. If you give 4 and 4 here, you end up with 36, you end up with 0, you end up with 0. You put 1 here, you put 1 here, you put 2 here, you put 2 here, you put 3 and 3. This is back to 22, and we're at square 1. The game is 2-2. You're both on the field. Your head's on your head. This is the football field. I can show you the whole field and why a girl has a bar mitzvah and a man has a bat mitzvah, because look at this. The 12th person in here is actually the crowd. The crowd has started the game. Without the crowd, well, what good is the Budweiser bow tie for the starting time? The 24 hours of the 12 men. 12 men on the field on each side. They're in the audience. Who knows who's voting for who? They all want the home team. Root, root, root. All 1 and 2 makes 24, the 12th man. So you don't want to be over age. You want to be 11. You want to be 11 so you can play. But you know what? Once you're playing at 11, you always make the big league. So you really go back to 9. So to go back to 9, you always want to be 9, is that little element in your head that makes you go, go, go. 3, 3, 3, go, go, go. Okay, so you become number 11. You become someone on the field. But if you become number 9, you become the quarterback. So you stay at 12. 12 and 3 is 15. 12 and 3 is 15. 15 is the letter O. 0, 0, 30 goes on the clock right here. For 30 minutes, you have 30 minutes of game time in the first half and 30 minutes in the second half by changing your scores. I know I didn't say it right. Here would be 3, 6, 3 is the way the football game scores, and the way I showed you pi before. Anyways, there's other things to do, but I know it's long enough. There's just tons and tons and tons to do. We end up on the 27-yard line when we start. That is I and R, and the reason for that is we have the 10 yards in the end zone for 37. And then we have 23 yards, which is 10, and 13. 13 for being a man in the 10 house. And then we can move right up to the field. We can also be at the 37-yard line and just count our bar mitzvah and take away the touchdown, because the touchdown came when we had our bar mitzvah, which was 1 touchdown with an extra point and 2 field goals. Something between our ears, and it's lifting up into the air. We now can produce our own pearls. Yeah, they coil in our ring. They coil in a ring down there, and they surround one banam. Both sides join one before they shoot off into the next world. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. We're all continuing to grind. Thank you for watching, and I'm just hoping, there's more, there's so much more. I can't express it all in one session. This is a book I'm writing. It has nothing to do with any sort of reality. Bull. For this is my reality. This is what I see. Are they calling for a Messiah? Are they calling for the Christ to come? Are they calling for New World Order? Are they calling for 100 years of Titanic? Are they calling for 51 years of the Barack Obama birthday? Are they calling for the 90th anniversary for George W. Bush and what's the name, and Nixon, 90-90? And in a few days, it's going to be the reflection of Valentine's Day. 90 again. 45, 45, 45 equals 135. When you have too many 45s, you reach the whole box, and that's like cranking Jack, and Jack jumps out of the box. Jack O'Lantern, he was inside the lantern, and he never got out, and he made the ring around the moon. When is that next moon? I would really like to know, because if we get a slit for the next moon, they're going to slide in. And whatever it is, praise God. Praise God, I hope he's listening, and I know he is, so I shouldn't even say that. Just let's just move on. Let's just move on. Let's not bring it any deeper. Let's not bring it any deeper. We're in the beehive right now, and we got pricks at both ends. So the rose that pricks, the only way to grab it is with these two fingers, and then you're snapping on your connection to your pineal gland. It's the only way to trap it properly. So massage your head, throw all your money. Oh, I forgot to say this. Take your money out of your pocket, take your bills, throw stuff on the table. Look at it. Look at it. It's plastic. And yet you're so scared to lose it. If you write down the number and somebody steals it from you, just because you know the truth, you should never have to pay. Your truth shouldn't say that you have to waste hundreds of hours because somebody stole your name. Yet money does that to us. It takes away more than half our life. We make decisions over money more than any other decision in the world. And it's not even electronic, but it electrifies your mind enough to deter you from the reality of the pathway we should be taking on this planet. Although I can say that it is fun to go both ways, but there's a certain limit before you fall over 7 and into 8, where the sharks are. Because where 8 is where 2 is. And she's beta, and she's Bett, and she's vet, and she'll bite you in the dark. So be careful. Raphael, thank you for watching.